Hello students, welcome to the class of English Literature. Today we are going to study a very famous comedy, a pastoral comedy by William Shakespeare. This drama is prescribed for the B.A. Part first students. As You Like It is a pastoral comedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written in 1599 and first published in the first folio in 1623. The play's first performance is uncertain. Through a performance, though a performance at Wilton House in 1603 has been suggested as a possibility. Here are the main characters: court of Duke Frederick. Here, Duke Frederick, Duke Senior's younger brother, he is, and he is usurper. Also, he is Celia's father. Rosalind, she is Duke Senior's daughter. Then Celia, Duke Frederick's daughter and the Rosalind's cousin. Here I want to mention that Rosalind is the main protagonist of this comedy, heroine of this comedy. Touchstone, a court fool or jester. Libio, a courtier. Charles, a wrestler. Lord and ladies in Duke Frederick's court. Now, in the household of the deceased Sir Rowland de Boys. In his household, we have Oliver de Boys, the eldest son and the heir. Jacques de Boys, the second son, and the Orlando de Boys, the youngest son, and also he is the lover of Rosalind. Adam, a faithful old servant who follows Orlando into exile. Dennis, Oliver's servant who called Charles. Now, exiled court of Duke Senior in the forest of Arden. Here we have Duke Senior, Duke Frederick's older brother and Rosalind's father. Jacques, a discontented, melancholic lord. Amins, an attending lord and musician. Then we have lords in Duke Senior's forest court. Now we have country folks in the forest of Arden. Here the first one is Phoebe, a proud shepherdess. Second one is Silvius, a shepherd. Silvius is in love with Phoebe, but Phoebe is in love with the disguised Rosalind. Audrey, a country girl. Corinne, an elderly shepherd. William, a countryman. Sir Oliver Markstead, a curate. Other characters: Hymen officiates over the wedding in the end, god of marriage as appearing in a mask, pages and musician. Now this is the summary of this pastoral comedy. Sir Rowland de Boys has recently died, and according to the custom of primogeniture means ज्येष्ठ अधिकार, ज्येष्ठ पुत्र का जो अधिकार होता है, the vast majority of his estate has passed into the possession of his eldest son, Oliver. Although Sir Rowland has instructed Oliver to take good care of his brother Orlando, Oliver refuses to do so. Out of pure spite, he denies Orlando the education, training, and property befitting a gentleman. Charles, a wrestler from the court of Duke Frederick, arrives to warn Oliver of a rumor that Orlando will challenge Charles to a fight on the following day. Fearing censure if he should beat a nobleman, Charles begs Oliver to intervene, but Oliver convinces the wrestler that Orlando is a dishonorable sportsman who will take whatever dastardly means kayarta se, means necessary to win. Charles vows to pummel Orlando. Pummel means dakiana, marna pitna, which delights Oliver. Duke Senior has been usurped of his throne by his brother Duke Frederick, and he has fled to the forest of Arden, where he lives like Robin Hood with a band of loyal followers. Duke Frederick allows Senior's daughter Rosalind to remain at court because of her inseparable friendship with his own daughter Celia. The day arrives when Orlando is scheduled to fight Charles, and the woman witness Orlando's defeat to the court wrestler. Orlando and Rosalind instantly fall in love with one another, though Rosalind keeps this fact a secret from everyone but Celia. Orlando returns home from the wrestling match only to have his faithful servant Adam warn him about Oliver's plot against Orlando's life. Orlando decides to leave for the safety of Arden. Without warning, Duke Frederick has a change of heart regarding Rosalind and banishes her from court. She too decides to flee to the forest of Arden and lives with Celia, who cannot bear to be without Rosalind, and Touchstone, the court jester. To ensure the safety of their journey, Rosalind assumes the dress of a young man and takes the name Ganymede, while Celia dresses as a common shepherdess and calls herself Elena. Duke Frederick is furious at his daughter's disappearance. When he learns that the flight of his daughter and niece coincides with the disappearance of Orlando, the Duke orders Oliver to lead the manhunt, threatening to confiscate means zabt karna, Oliver's land and property should he fail. Frederick also decides it is time to destroy his brother once and for all, and begins to raise an army. Duke Senior lives in the forest of Arden with a band of lords who have gone into voluntary exile. He praises the simple life among the trees, happy to be absent from the mechanisms of court life. Orlando, exhausted by the travel and desperate to find food for his starving companion Adam, barges means जबरदस्ती घुसना in the Duke's camp and rudely demands that they not eat until he is given food. Duke Senior calms Orlando, and when he learns that the young man is the son of his dear former friend Sir Roland de Boys, accepts him into his company. Meanwhile, Rosalind and Celia, disguised as Ganymede and Elena, arrive in the forest and meet a lovesick young shepherd named Silvius, who pines away for the disdainful Phoebe. The two women purchases a modest cottage, and soon enough Rosalind runs into the equally lovesick Orlando. Taking her to be a young man, Orlando confides means अपने मन की बात बताना in Rosalind, that his affections are overpowering him. Rosalind, as Ganymede, claims to be an expert in exorcising such emotions and promises to cure Orlando of love sickness. If he agrees to pretend that Ganymede is Rosalind and promises to come woo her every day, Orlando agrees and the love lessons begin. Meanwhile, Phoebe becomes increasingly cruel in her rejection of Sylvius. When Rosalind intervenes, disguised as Ganymede, Phoebe falls hopelessly in love with Ganymede. One day, Orlando fails to show up for his tutorial with Ganymede. Rosalind, reacting to her infatuation with Orlando, is distraught until Oliver appears. Oliver describes how Orlando stumbled upon him संयोग से मिलना in the forest and saved him from being devoured by a hungry lioness. Oliver and Celia, still disguised as the shepherdess Elena, fall instantly in love and agree to marry. As time passes, Phoebe becomes increasingly insistent in her pursuit of Ganymede, and Orlando grows tired of pretending that a boy is his dear Rosalind. Rosalind decides to end the charade. Charade means paheli. She promises that Ganymede will wed Phoebe if Ganymede will ever marry a woman. And she makes everyone pledge to meet the next day at the wedding. They all agree. The day of the wedding arrives and Rosalind gathers the various couples, Phoebe and Sylvius, Celia and Oliver, Touchstone and Audrey. A Goddard he intends to marry. Goddard means shepherdess. And Orlando, the group congregates means एकत्रित होना before Duke Senior and his men. Rosalind, still disguised as Ganymede, reminds the lovers of their various vows, then secure a promise from Phoebe that if for some reason she refuses to marry Ganymede, she will marry Sylvius, and a promise from the Duke that he would allow his daughter to marry Orlando if he were available. Rosalind leaves with the disguised Celia, and the two soon return as themselves, accompanied by Hymen, the god of marriage. Hymen officiates at the ceremony and marries Rosalind and Orlando, Celia and Oliver, Phoebe and Sylvius, and Audrey and Touchstone. The festive wedding celebration is interrupted by even more festive news. While marching with his army to attack Duke Senior, Duke Frederick came upon a holy man who convinced him to put aside his worldly concerns and assume a monastic life. Monastic means sannyasi. Frederick changes his ways and returns to the throne to Duke Senior. The guests continue dancing, happy in the knowledge that they will soon return to the royal court. This was the summary of this very famous pastoral comedy. Thank you.